Hey everybody, welcome back to the 300ZX Turbo project here in Glenn's garage. So we're cracking on at the rear suspension of the car now today. Gonna get the rear springs out. Alright, so as you can see there's a bunch of things disassembled here already in the rear. All the brakes and everything are off. That's all gonna get cleaned up. The shock is out already. So the next thing will be the spring. Now the shocks are comparatively simple to remove. There's three bolts, nuts at the top, up under the speakers. It's the access is the biggest challenge. So there's three of those you have to get off. And then you have one, where is it? Down here. You have one down here, one attachment down there for the shock, and it comes out. I will insert into this video a couple of quick clips of removing the shock. There's a separate video if you're doing it with the detail, if you're swapping over from the turbo electronic adjustable to normal KYBs, which is what I'm doing. So I'll put a couple of clips in that just show you how to get that out. You're going to need the shock out before you can do this. You don't need the brakes off. All right, so that's your electrical connector that you've got to effectively go in and just squeeze these two, and it releases the clip, and that just pops off the top here. So you have to do that first if you're dealing with the turbo ones. Okay, so I've got the three nuts off of there now. So when you do that, the lower mount will drop. So basically there's a lower mount and an upper mount here, and they sandwich between the sheet metal. So it's dropped down, so this can be removed now. And next step, we'll have to remove that nut. Pop that out. You see I've got the scissor jack underneath here. Okay, so I've got the bolt out. Do that. Drop that down, and there we go. But once you've got the shock out and you've got the jack underneath it lowered, you're going to find that the spring is actually quite loose. I could probably, if I wanted to, get a pry bar under there and get it out, but it is still under a little tension, and this is about as low as this control arm wants to drop. So I'm going to put my spring compressors on. And just a little bit, I'm just going to squeeze this just enough to get it out without doing any damage to anything here. Okay, so I've got the spring adjusters on. Going to start tightening them up a little bit. Shouldn't take that much, I don't think. Oh yeah, wrong one. Alright, so I finally have the spring compressed enough to get out of here. Never one of my favorite jobs by any stretch. I ignore my initial comment that maybe if you'd just put a pry bar in, it would have popped out, because I think that would have just ended in tears. So anyway, we're just going to slip this out now, and we'll be ready to clean everything up back there. Okay, so spring's out. Just got to release the compression on it. The seats are out with it. We're going to do all our cosmetic cleanup in here and cosmetic restoration, if you will, and then we'll be ready to put the new spring in. Okay, so we're getting ready to put the new spring in the back of the 300ZX here. It's a lowering spring. I had anticipated or hoped as a lowering spring it would be shorter. As you can see, it's clearly not. Different wind on it, different coil. So I'm guessing that's how they get it to lower the back of the car. I certainly hope it lowers it for all this. Anyway, what that means is I've got about the same clearance issue that I had taking the old one out, that it will either need more room at the back or it's going to have to be compressed to get it installed. I really want to use the spring compressors again on it. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a look and see if I can get some more clearance at the back of it with the control arm to get it to drop lower, and I suspect that's going to be achieved by disconnecting the half shaft and then that should eliminate the limit that the CV joint has, and let it go lower. Anyway, let's go over, have a look, and see if I can get the control arm to go lower to put these springs in. Okay, so here we are into the back of the car. This is the half shaft coming out of the diff to the rear hub here. I have the bracket that holds the lower mount for the shock removed here, which gives me a lot of access under here now. So this is the joint between the CV housing, the outer CV housing, and the flange here, the hub flange, the inner hub flange, I guess you would. I got 4 bolts here, 14 mil socket. So I'm going to try and undo those, crack this off of here, because I think this and the angle of the CV housing is what's limiting how far I can drop the control arm. So I'm thinking if I can disconnect this from here, I'll leave it sitting in the diff, then I can drop this enough that I can slip the spring in, and it gives me a chance to clean all this up and finish the restoration work under here as well. Okay, I have all 4 bolts out. That's a nut and a bolt. I didn't video it because all you would have got a picture of is my back and me grunting and struggling. So I did have to use the big impact to get these broken free, but they're there. So in theory, this should come apart now, those 4. Oh, there we go. All right. Now we're just going to see if it actually does lower the control arm further. So I've just lowered the jack here, and the control arm has come back down to about the same level it was before. However, it now has movement, whereas before it would come and just hit effectively a hard stop, which I think was the CV joint. I now have some spring there, so I think this is actually going to work. So what I'm going to do is, got the spring already here, feed that up there and push this down. Let's see if we can get it in. And all right. Look at that. There we go. Excellent. All right, so we got the spring basically in place. So I'll jack this back up to its normal level now, and reconnect the drive shaft. Okay, try to put this back into place. Look at that. All right, just get all those put in and then torque them down. So torque spec is between 43 and 51 foot-pounds for these 4 bolts here. That's for the turbo. There is a different spec for the NA car, so alright. So we'll do all 4 like that. Okay, drive shaft's attached now, everything's torqued up, so I'm going to just lower this jack down. It should just lower down until it stops on the CV joint like it was before, and then I'm going to reinstall the bottom shock mount here, and then I can also install the bracket for the handbrake cable. Okay, so I've got the bracket here. I'm going to start with the bottom bolt. So these are 17 mil sockets. This is identical bolt to the one that holds the bottom shock mount. And then rotate it up and put this bracket in place, whether there's a 17 and a, I think that's a 12, but I'll double check. So we're going to torque this one down first. 51 to 65 foot-pounds according to the Nissan book, and then the 17 mil socket one under the other end of the bracket is 43 to 58 foot-pounds, and then the little one, if you're going to torque it up, is 12 to 15. I just snugged that up, so we're going in now, and here we go. I'll just do the other one, and that's done. Great, so everything's torqued down there now. Spring is in, and we're ready now. Just got to install the new shock absorber. Try and feed that up into the top, and then go over the top and get a nut on, so at least it's suspended, and then I can try and work the bottom into place. Okay, we're going to lift the jack up a little bit here. There we go. Alright, so there we are. Shock absorber installed, springs installed, so rear suspension there. All redone. Okay, so rear springs are all done on the car now. I hope the video was helpful for you, maybe even entertaining, who knows. As always, a like, a subscribe for the channel would be awesome, would be very much appreciated. And I hope I see you back here. We're going to carry on with the car. We're basically close to getting all the suspension work done, and then we'll move on to some mechanical fun and games. So, check out the videos, keep coming back, and as always, have a great day. Drive safe, everybody. See you back here in the garage.